Hey UNC advisors, Haley here, your Academic Review Coordinator. This video is going to talk about the academic standing codes related to academic probation. There are a ton of codes, so definitely make note and use these to help sort and filter for your advisees and determine what level of outreach and support you can provide this semester to help them reach their goals. Now first, academic standing codes are updated the Monday after grades are due. Right? This is also the same time when the letters notifying students about their academic probation or possibly suspension status goes out. We do a second run of grades about 10 days later just to catch any of those maybe grade changes, updates, or late submissions for those students. Now do note, if your student has some sort of grade change after that second run, hooray! But their academic standing will not be updated until that end of the semester. So let's say you have a student who's going through probation, their PC, and they had an incomplete. Yes, they completed their incomplete. They did it in October and it turned over to a B. Fantastic. Now it might seem like that incomplete turning into a B has now pushed their cumulative GPA to a 2.0, so technically right now their GPA is in good standing. However, they will continue to be a PC academic standing coded student until the end of the fall semester. One, we need to make sure their fall semester grades keep them in good standing. So just know you could come across some students who seem like they're in good standing. Check and see if they had maybe some incompletes or something turned over, perhaps a retroactive withdrawal. There's a lot of policies that could change it, but any of those changes in the middle of the semester are not going to be reflected in that academic standing code until the grades are run at the end of the semester. Now, again, we have a ton of codes. Anything with academic probation is going to start with a P in front of it. So if you're searching Navigate, you can certainly look for P after you type in academic standing code. Now, the most common students are going to be P1, and those are students on their very first semester of academic probation. The next most common that you will see is PC. These are students who have at least one credit towards their 24 probation allotment. You might have a P1 student in an interim class. Even though probation students aren't allowed to take interim courses, this P1 student became P1 at the end of the fall semester after they were already registered and in the interim course. Now in the spring, because they took that one interim course, it is going to turn over into a PC code for the spring, even though they seem and really are more of a P1. I am keeping an eye on that to invite them to the Academic Success Workshop, and I will also be providing your directors of your advising centers with that kind of information to pass along to you. So those are the two most common, P1, PC. You also will see a lot of 0-0, which are basically students who don't have a GPA yet. Their GPA will either turn into GS, good standing, or P1 for probation first term. Now I want to highlight a few really critical P codes that might require a higher touch point. All right, and so these are P codes that they have a bit higher stakes. I mean, all probation students, we want to have, more outreach, more contact points than, students who are in good standing and kind of chugging along. But these ones are really significant, and sometimes not necessarily rare, but a little more forgotten. So the first one is a PA. This is probation appealed. This means the student was suspended and successfully appealed their suspension. They have one semester, just one semester, including a summer if they're registered for summer classes, to get their GPA up to a 2.0. So every semester, go ahead and search for your PA students and PA advisees and really try to have high contact points with them because they only have one semester to get their GPA back up. Now they could appeal again at the end of the semester and they would be in the same boat, another PA. The next one is going to be a PS, and this is a probation prior suspension. So these are students who are readmitted after being suspended. They did a successful readmission appeal with us. They also only have one semester to get their GPA back up to a 2.0, or else they're going to go through that suspension process again. Now these PS students are really important and in a bit of a tough spot, because if they are suspended twice from UNC, that second suspension is permanent. So if they aren't able to get back into good standing this semester and they have a denied suspension appeal, they can't ever come back and be a bear. They are permanently suspended from undergraduate work at UNC. So PA, PS, really crucial ones because they only have one semester to get back into good standing. Now another one to keep an eye on because of that second suspension rule is the PX code. So PX means that they have been suspended in the past, they came back, they got into good standing, and now they're on probation again. So something is happening. They could be anywhere in the probation process, right? So instead of being P1 or PC, they're coded as PX. And that just tells you they already have one suspension on their record. If they get suspended again, they are out permanently from UNC undergraduate studies. So there aren't too many of those. Typically students who come back sort of are on that good standing train. But do keep in mind and keep an eye out for any PA, PS, and PX students for potentially higher touch points.